Hello, everybody, and welcome to exciting Day 2 tournament coverage for Champions of Otherworldly Magic Weekend Open Series. We have $500 in prizes, and we are here to bring you all the action in the finals match, a best of 5 between our reigning world number 1 champion, Ut, from Japan, and our challenger, Nicholas. And we're both week, we did not allow the X to be involved in the deck selection process. This week, they are active, and let me tell you, they have completely changed the format. Right now, we are looking at these eggs. I'm joined with my co-host, Coomlord. Coomlord, how are you? How can you not get your blood going when it's day 2, the finals coverage? The game is about 2 months old at this point, but we already have a massive community following in Japan. There's a massive community following all over the world, Europe, in the States, and we are live in the Discord as well. So if you'd like to join us, discord.gg/Coom Battle. We're broadcasting live right now with Twitch, and we are exploring the new format with these eggs. Right now, you're looking at the front and center. This is the rare egg. You can tell it's rare with the silver border around it. If you notice, all of these eggs, move my head a little bit, all of these eggs have a 0 attack power. That is the number in red on the bottom left. And they have a 1 HP, so that is the health of the egg. So they come out and they are and the mana cost at the very top is 1. So they come out and they are fairly innocuous, right? They don't do too much. They're not very strong. They're not very healthy. So what is going on with these eggs? Well, in the middle, they have this ability called Hatch. And Hatch is an ability that when you play the egg allows you to free play a champion from your hand that shares a type with it. So this water egg here will allow you to play a free champion with the water type. And in the middle, you see Pong, who allows you to play a free champion with the light type. And all the way on the left, we see Grun, the nature type. These eggs were the talk of the whole format. Especially, they only became announced that they would be legal in the tournament about 48 hours prior to the event. So there was a flurry of activity to see, how can they be combined with other cards to produce the most devastating effects. And we see again the current reigning number 1 champion. Last weekend, he took down first place. He received a beautiful tournament card of a monk and with a special tournament border. So that is very coveted, and there's a 1 of 1 on that right now. Ut was undefeated through the 5 rounds of Swiss, also undefeated through the 3 rounds of top 8 finals coverage last weekend. And this weekend, he has repeated. He, again, is undefeated through the Swiss. And I want to show you this tournament bracket coverage that we have right now. Here we have the tournament bracket, and so you can see that that Ud is in the top here, and all of the challengers across 4 rounds of coverage did not manage to take him down. So he has been showcasing his unique talents, his exceptional abilities to understand the game mechanics and the card play. All through the weekend, and even last night and early in the day, he was doing some testing in our ranked leaderboards, which we have to show for you right now. The ranked leaderboards are live, and this is what they look like today. We're seeing that this is the free play. So again, Champions of Otherworldly Magic. We are a trading card game. It is digital cards. We are leveraging the power of blockchain to enable a very seamless transition of these art assets, these trading card assets, onto a distribution channel using blockchain, and that makes for players to be able to play with their own cards. That is our ranked version of the game, but there is also a free version of the game. And we are tracking the wins and the losses for both the free and the ranked gameplay. So you can see at the top of our free leaderboard here, we have K1, sometimes called Kiki, with 54 wins and 31 losses, a impressive 63% win rate. And you know that there's also Oot there, free play, with 46 wins and 15 losses. So you can see that that it's an exciting new format to be playing with digital cards as opposed to physical cards. Coomlord, I wanted to ask you, like, what was your thought process around kind of using the blockchain to leverage some of the unique opportunities that it has to disrupt major online competitor TCG formats like a Hearthstone? And we're gonna bring in old Craig as well, who's joining us right now. Talk us through that, Coomlord. Hey, Craig. Awesome. Craig, thank you so much for joining us. How are you today?
Good, man. Good. I see we got the green screen thing going. I can change my background probably. I think I've never used this thing before, but yeah, it's cool. I like it. Thanks for having me on.
This is ESPN DACE. ESPN Bente Quattro.
ESPN at 13, ESPN 21E8, something like that.
Yes, exactly.
Nice. Oh, sweet. Okay, nice. And I'm sure there's a way I can add the green screen background here. I don't quite see it yet, but I'll figure it out.
Where it says frame.
Nice.
Yeah. Craig, we're just going to do a quick tutorial. We did a lead-in intro, talked about the event last yesterday, and we're going to do a quick tutorial video for our viewers here. We're live on Twitter and Twitch right now.
Champions of Otherworldly Magic is an epic fantasy card game where you can collect, trade, and battle unique NFT cards featuring powerful creatures, spells, and artifacts from otherworldly realms. Each card has an elemental type, attack stat, hit point stat, mana cost, and ability. Players use their NFTs to build a 25 to 30 card deck of their choice. Each player starts with 60 HP, 6 cards, and 1 maximum mana. Each turn, the player draws another card, and their maximum mana increases by 1, up to 10. Mana refreshes to full every turn. For a card to be played, mana must be spent equal to the card's mana cost. When a card is played on the field, it has to wait for 1 turn before attacking the enemy. However, each card, which was on the field prior to the current turn, can attack an enemy card or an enemy player. During an attack, the attacked card takes damage from the attacker and in turn causes damage to the attacker. When a card reaches 0 HP, it's sent to the graveyard. The ultimate goal of the game is to overcome the opponent by slashing their HP down to 0. Players can take advantage of the elemental bonus damage, card evolutions, and abilities to increase their power during the game. Players can upgrade their cards by playing an evolved card on top of the previous evolution for 0 mana cost. Players can also trigger the abilities of their cards to buff up their card's attack or defense stats, deal damage to their opponent's cards, freeze their opponent's card, and more. Each ability features a different combination of elemental type, effect, casting method, and targeting option, which makes it unique and spices up the gameplay. The abilities include Bless, Life Bloom, Earthquake, Vortex, Inferno, Whirlwind, Blizzard, Psybeam, Provoke, Rush, Guard, Hatch. Sounds fun, doesn't it? What are you waiting for? Immerse yourself in this magical otherworldly adventure. Play now at coombattles.com. Champions of Otherworldly Magic is an...
All right.
Yeah, dude, that was awesome.
Yeah, pretty great. Like he's got the voice. I don't know, Craig, you're like an OG Magic player, so I don't know if you know the Tolarian Community College
I
guy.
do. Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's got the same voice where it just like, like sucks you in. He's the type of guy would be doing commercials for sneak previews of movies and stuff.
What voice is that? Is that one of the creators of Ordinals?
No, it's actually I was gonna make a joke, but I couldn't think of someone random off the top of my head. But he was just.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it sounds like a professional voice actor. It's fantastic, man. And the video, of course, extremely well produced. Yeah. It sucks you in, like the game does itself.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, we were going over the leaderboard. I wanted to jump over to the ranked leaderboard too. So yeah, here it is. Yeah, and then we'll jump over to some games and maybe we can stream some of Craig's games. Craig, your deck is just ridiculous. Like I played a couple games against you. You've got just like a powerhouse.
Yeah, I mean, we had some pretty close.
Walk us through some of what your thoughts.
Pretty close games. Yeah, it's the real, as you can see there, the highest win percentage with the people who have played a lot of games is UUTTT, and he has crushed me. He's crushed me on several. His deck is insane. But basically, mine's just a pile of the best cards I have, and it's with a focus on the rush. The rush monkeys, Monkey, Uga Chief, because they deal with so much and they grind your opponent down faster. They can get bounced and come out again quickly. They can deal with things with guard. The way I think of the rush creatures is kind of like in Magic the Gathering. They can apply direct damage to any creature, which other creatures can't generally. And so that's pretty much the strategy with my deck. And I was in the last mint, the BTC mint. The mint was very slow, but at the secondary market there was some deals. So I got enough monkeys and Ugas and a couple Uga Chiefs when I saw them. So that's pretty much the basis of my deck. And then the eggs, as we were talking about in the Discord earlier, really changed the meta a lot. And it's fun, but that's pretty much the strategy behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, it really already those cards like the Uga Chiefs and all of that stuff they're pretty good, even if you're paying 6 for them. But paying 1 for them, it immediately warps the format. Like everyone has to have some sort of answer for that. And you saw people, Eaglons were sort of out of favor because for a while the tree guards were the strongest, monsters and champions in the format, but then Eaglons needed to come back in because just turn 1 Uga Chief, like what are you going to do? You have to hope that you have a Eaglon in your opening hand. And the one thing I was surprised about is that it looks like when we're give me a second here before we jump into some games. I want to take a look at these various different deck lists and the ways that Nicholas and Oot kind of differed in how they wanted to build their strategies. Did you happen to take a look at that by any chance? Code?
No, where's it posted?
They're either of their
No,
strategies.
I haven't seen it. Where?
Yeah, I'll post it right here so we can all see it. I think this is going to be I think this is I think this is Nick's list. Yeah. But we're seeing. Oh no, this one. I'm sorry. This one isn't Nick's list. Give me 1 second to find it. But yeah, we made it what? He just had a lower. Yeah. Take it away, Miles. I'm having a lag or something. Yeah, totally. Sorry about that. All right. Yeah. Okay, great. So yeah, well, but while I'm pulling the deck up, I can kind of walk or talk at least through some of what their strategies were. So I know that that Nicholas went for much more of a low to the ground. So, the first thing I looked at when I saw this format, I don't know about you, Cope, is, like we're looking at Nicholas's deck list here. And yeah, of course he has the 3 ponks, those pink eggs that we're showing with the lead into the format, to the conversation here. We did a little intro and talked about those ponks. Those free a light champion. So, you're seeing up in the top left, we see Purity. That is one of the Angels, which are special, unique champions. They're the most rare in the format, and they're also the strongest. Each champion that is an Angel is associated with a different ability, and the Purity and the Light champion Angel is associated with the Bless ability, but not all light cards have the Bless ability. So we actually saw Nicholas go away from some of the most powerful early mana light creatures like Lumi, and instead move towards these Pegasols and the Pegasi, because they can become in for only 1 mana. But in addition to those, we also see only 2 Gruns, which I was surprised about. And also completely staying away from the Uga Chiefs and the Ugas themselves, or not staying away entirely from the Uga Chief. We see that one up there next to the Purity in the top left, second row, but instead opting for these Pandorables and the Leafies, 3 Pandorables, those cute little panda bears there, the Leafies, which are the little elephants there. And I just wanted to think about, when I first saw the list, I really was surprised, no offense to Nicholas, that this list made it into the finals in this format. So what was your thoughts on that, Craig?
Well, it's the thing that one of the things that I think is interesting about that is the Pandorables and the Leafy. I keep looking at those cards and thinking, okay, they make your guys a little bigger, but then all you have is a little 1/2 to show for it. But it seems like it tends to make the difference between your guys surviving versus your opponent surviving, because I didn't run any of those in my deck, and my opponent did, and I'm not sure if that's what made the difference. But they're more powerful. They're deceivingly powerful, because I think they help you win a lot of battles. When you have to fight versus your guys versus their guys, you end up surviving and they end up not. So that's interesting. And it's also interesting to see that he, like you said, he has 1 blue egg, 2 Gruns, and 3 Ponks. I don't know how that plays out. I mean, it's generally not a detriment at all to have an egg in your hand. I don't know if if there's some kind of personal choice there, but it's similar. It's similar to what I think a lot of people played. It's similar to what I played. It's interesting that he has 2 Blizzard guys in there. That seems to be, I don't know why, but that seems to be what he feels about optimal. I think I had 1 or 2 in my deck. And he also only has 2 Inferno guys, 2 Scorchwing. Yeah. And I know some people ran a lot more. I know I ran a lot more. I think I ran 3 Scorchwings and 1 Flamey and one of the big guys, the Flaming Guacan. So, like you said, a little surprising. Yeah. It made it to the end, but could be variance, could be an optimal build. I'm not sure. I'm curious to see how it stacks up against the other deck and what that has. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of the other deck, I do have that up, and let me pull that up right now. This is, for the one thing I want to say as well about this build that we're about to look at. First of all, we're going to be looking at Oot's build. So for those that don't know, Oot has made his presence known very widely in our community as being, the de facto #1, current reigning champion, undefeated through competitive tournament play, etc. And also really, really wonderful person, Japanese, and there is a little bit of a language barrier between us, but he's someone that you can just really easily appreciate, the like pure love and joy that he has for this game. And it comes across, even though there is this language barrier. I want to draw our attention to the name of his deck for those that are, unfamiliar with the game. You can name your deck, and so I just want to say it's hilarious that the name of his deck is just God, because when you're playing against him and trying to eke out a victory, sometimes you may feel like you literally are playing against God, because how does someone run so perfect with his draw? But yeah, so this would be, if I just took a look at the deck list, even notwithstanding the player that's piloting it, but just took a look at the deck list and said, what is the deck that you think is going to take this tournament down? You see right away those 3 Scorch Wings there in the middle row, sort of lumped all together with the red wings. And yeah, those have the Inferno ability, so they are able to take out 2 opposing champions while taking themselves out as well. But also you see the Flame McGuakin. So like you were saying, there's a couple of the bigger ones that, yes, they cost a little bit more mana to be able to run out there. They still have the same effect of the Inferno as the Scorch Wings, but the difference is that they survive as an 8-power creature. And as well, the other big difference here is that you're playing the extra Grun. You're also playing the 2 extra Uga Chiefs, and but still getting those complements of the monks and a lone Lumi with the purity as well, to get some early damage in and to control the board a little bit. But yeah, the other thing that's interesting about this is the types of answers. So we do see those 2 Eaglons in Oot's deck that are able to answer a really early Uga Chief. But also in Nicholas's deck, he has that one spicy, or I guess you could call it the icy Glaciador, which is a perfect answer to Uga Chief or Pegasol or some of these other really powerful, fast creatures with the eggs. But the problem is that can you survive to turn 4 to play the Glaciador? So what was your thinking in terms of, did you consider Glaciador, and where do you think Glaciador is positioned in the format right now?
Is that the 4-cost penguin with Blizzard?
Yeah, the 4-cost.
Yeah, I think I ran one of those, or maybe just one of the I can't think of the name, but it's the tiger that is 5 for a 6/5. But
yeah, Arctic-King.
Arctifang, I think, is the one that I'm thinking of, the middle one. But what strikes me about this deck is that he has nothing of that casting cost. No Glaciador, no Isoquin, and no Ugas. I thought Ugas were so good. I mean, I ran 3 Ugas in my deck. In my ranked deck, I have 3 Ugas. And he has nothing of that forecasting cost. If you go along the top, you've got Lumies, Monkeys, Eaglons. Those are all 2 cast. And then you also have the Scorch Wings, which are 2 cast or 2 cost. And then it's just all big stuff. You've got Pegasol, which you can bring in with the eggs, of course. And then Flame McGuakin, which is 5. Uga Chief, which is 6. There's nothing in the middle. And so I guess the strategy is, which this really makes sense in retrospect. I think it's really brilliant what he figured out here, is that instead of having a 4-drop or a 3-drop, on turn 3, you drop a 2-drop and then an egg. Or on turn 4, you drop 2 2-drops. You go Monkey or Monkey Lumi, Monkey Scorchwing, something like that. And the conventional wisdom from the Magic world would be, well, you don't want to be doing that because you want your mana curve to have that power of the 4 casting cost card, which is more powerful. And if you draw a 2 casting cost card later, it's not as good. However, I think what he banks on, and with the speed of Coom battles, he banks on, okay, that's fine. Sure, I'll lose a little bit of card advantage potentially, but it's never bad, really, to draw a Monkey or a Lumi or even an Eaglon. Eaglon is not quite as good late game, but it still can be powerful if they have some kind of provoke card. But you will end up in a situation in the late game where you have a lot of big stuff. So on turn 8 or 9, you can still, turn 7, you can go Flamin' Guacan and then Lumi. On turn 8, you can go Ooga Chief and Monkey or Lumi or Scorchwing or anything. So he really sort of curves out and builds up big cards in his hand, I would guess, from this, instead of taking the traditional mana curve philosophy that I've tried to build my decks with. And I think this is brilliant looking at this. He does have the Bless Angel, which I think costs 4, but that's the only thing. Otherwise, it's all 1 drops, 2 drops, and 5 and 6 drops. So brilliant deck building, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And you bring up a really good point, because those Eaglons, they aren't permanent solutions to an Ooga Chief or Pegasol, right? They're just sort of buy yourself a little bit of time. And but yeah, you eventually are going to want to deploy these creatures back down, but like you said, in the meantime, you can clean up the board with a few timely Infernos, and then once that you actually have the 6 mana to actually just hardcast the Ooga Chief, then you're back in action, and like you said, you want those once you top out past the 6 drops spot, then you really want to be playing 2 spells at once, whether that's an Ooga Chief and an Egg, like you were saying, or an Ooga Chief and a Lumi on turn 8, etc. And the other thing that I want to hear your thoughts about, because there's a lot of creative ways to use these eggs. Of course, one of the unique that you're not SOL if you don't have a corresponding champion. So if you play a Grun, which is the nature egg, a 0/1 for 1 mana, and you don't have an Ooga Chief, a big payoff card to be able to take advantage of that egg still places itself with a new card. And when you're talking about a format where there's some very, very key crucial cards that you need to have in your hand faster than your opponent has these in their hand, then drawing that 1 card using the egg is a good way to thin your deck, so that you're drawing more likely you're drawing to the actual gas that you need. But the other thing is that when you have these spicy Lumis, of which Ood is playing 2, Lumi and Purity both have those light champion, you're able to bless the egg. So these moments where a Flamigwakin comes down and deals a big Inferno round, but doesn't kill one of your lone remaining eggs, a Flamigwakin as 8 power with an 8 attack but 8 health. After the Inferno takes 5 away, you're stuck at 3 health, and now a Lumi that comes down and can give that bless ability to one of those eggs. What are your feelings about that? Because they're a little bit like when you get your opponent kill a Flamigwakin with an egg, like there's like the psychological element of it as well, in terms of like how have you been doing some of that in your games, and what were your thoughts on deck building in that respect?
I haven't been clever enough. I just noticed that people are doing that. Wow, that's a brilliant move to use your bless on an egg. Then you get to keep your other guy instead of running your slightly bigger Eaglon that's on there with bless into the Flamin' Guacan. You get to keep that and do it. It's a brilliant move. I haven't seen that, but I really think it's smart. The other thing that's cool about the eggs that I've noticed people are starting to play around is that your egg, because of the way Inferno works, it does 5 damage to the highest toughness creature and 5 damage to the lowest, that people will attack the egg first with, say, an Eaglon to get rid of your egg, and then they'll play the Inferno afterwards. So that's a good way of working around that. But it's interesting to see how the strategies people are coming up with, because like you said, I played Magic for a long time. I was decent, but there were people that were much better than me, of course. And the strategies people are coming up with in this game, it has a lot of depth to it. I mean, it's very similar to Magic, which has a lot of depth to it. But the deck build there is pretty brilliant. Is this the game we're watching? Are we getting into the final match here? Nice. So this other deck that we didn't look at. Oh, okay.
We have Oot joining with us, everyone. So we're gonna have Oot join, and Craig, if you wouldn't mind, take the lead on some questions for Oot. We'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Is he
Hello.
with us now?
Yes, we have Oot joining us. Oot, thank you so much for joining the conversation.
Oot, how
can
you doing,
hear
buddy?
us?
Yeah, I'm Wood.
Awesome.
Hello.
Hello. Thanks for joining us, man. It's been a pleasure getting beaten down by your decks
Yes.
over and over again.
My pleasure too. Thank you.
Yes, we were just looking at your finals deck and discussing the fact that you have no middle casting cost cards. You know, like you do have the Purity Angel for 4, but you have a lot of 2 cost cards and a lot of big cost cards. And it wasn't intuitive to me to build a deck that way, but it seems like it's worked out really well. And in retrospect, it seems it makes sense why it does. What's your thoughts on the way you built that deck with that structure?
I try the battle many times and customize my deck. I only just
lots of testing. It sounds like.
Yes, many tests.
Okay, well that makes sense. Do you have someone friend or friends you've been testing with, or do you just go against anybody who plays on there?
Yes, Japanese community is very helpful and kind. Man, yes, many kinds, man.
Amazing. Okay, so my friend and I, my brother-in-law and I were testing before the last tournament, and before the first tournament, and we thought we had a pretty good deck. Neither of us made the top 8, but we kept our testing, just between us. Do you guys do some testing in the background, not playing open games, so you can keep your tech intact? It sounds like you guys put in a lot of work together, the community.
Yes.
Awesome.
Very fun.
Very, very fun. Yeah. Let me ask you. Oh, go ahead.
I like Kun very much, and the design is very beautiful, and I like the Kun comes bigger.
I have a question.
Yeah, I couldn't agree. Go for it.
Yeah, Oot, the Japanese community is very strong, but who is your number one training partner? Do you train more with Nemri or Haruki, or who is your number one helper?
My teacher is Bei.
Bei.
You know Bei, Japanese first tournament champion.
Yes, Bei.
He advised me today's morning to customize my deck.
Yes.
And I can't customize my deck today for tournament, but my NFT deck is customized by him.
Very good.
So yes.
Bei.
How did you get into Kun battles? Did you play Magic before this, or what got you interested in the game?
My favorite game.
Yeah,
what's your question?
Why did you decide to play Kun battles? Did you play other games before this, or what's the reason that you learned about Kun battles?
I like the BSB.
Oh, okay.
And Bitcoin subdivision, and I want I like the blockchain and BSB, so I heard about the Coom by BSB community, so I decided to participate the Coom.
Ah, wonderful. That's
Yes,
how I heard about it as well.
yes, and I like the Magic the Gathering,
Okay.
too. So yes, I have the card. When I was child, I used to do the Magic the Gathering. So uh, now I am adult, but I want to play the cards game now.
Ah, yes, that makes sense. I
Great.
think.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, Oot, I want to thank you so much. We're going to let you go because we're coming down to 15 minutes before the event. So, Oot, before I let you go, I want to tell you that thank you so much for your interest in Coon Battles. You're a very wonderful person and a very wonderful player. And we all appreciate
Thank you.
the joy that you have for gaming. So thank you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you. Bye.
See you, Oot.
Take it easy, man. Nice to meet you.
See you.
Adios.
Oot is strong.
Bye.
Yes, bye. That was cool. That was cool that he turned his camera on for the last shot, like, all right, we
Yeah.
also have a couple other people in the Discord that may be joining us on as surprise commentating guests. But Blends, thanks for joining us. And, you jumped in right as we were getting into our interview with
Absolutely.
Oot. But, how's your day been? Are you excited?
Is even better. That's hard because the game is already good and there's so much more potential when more of the interactivity between the elements are unlocked. But right now it's so much fun. The community has been amazing, and I have to give it up to the community again. I have to give it up to the community. So strong, so many interested people, and yeah, happy to be here. Of course.
Awesome.
Yeah, man, awesome. Yeah, we've played a few games. I think you and me, Blends.
Yeah, I think you crushed me a few times. Yeah, and I learned a lot.
Nice. So did you come from? I'm always curious to hear how people learned about this game. Did you come from BTC and Ordinals, and that's how you heard about it? Or how'd you hear about it?
Yeah, definitely the ordinal side. Definitely, I have to say the ordinal side. Just for me, it's always been I really found an incredible attraction to NFTs. I think because as a musician and just I guess generally a content creator, I always wanted to find ways of sharing my content, maybe monetizing in different ways, finding new avenues for things like different subscription models. And I just couldn't really find the right method, whether it be through Patreon or whatever have you. And I just said, I'm kind of done. I discovered NFTs some time ago. And even then I said, I kind of feel like there's something wrong here. I like the idea a lot. I just feel like there's something missing. So, and then along came this whole idea of ordinals, and I was like, okay, I like the idea of permanence. This is good. It's on chain, and it's not a public a decentralized storage alternative, let's say. And so I dove in, and one more quick thing, like one of the guys out there, he's got this ordinals project. It's the boxing one. It's a boxing ordinals project, and I saw him with these cards a little while ago, and I was like, what is this? I completely missed the mint. It was minted out, and it was BSV. I said, wow, I don't even know that much about BSV. All I hear is hate, to be honest, guys. And I'm like, man, I don't really like get into all of that. There's got to be use case and utility for everything that's good. And I was encouraged to download Hand Cash, and I was blown away by what was happening just by these little transactions for tiny fractions of, anyway. So I jumped in. I saw this on Ordinals wallet, and I just said, wow, screen record on, let's go mint live, publish this video to YouTube. People have to see this. This is groundbreaking right now. So that's why I'm here. I love it.
That is so cool, man. That's I've been in BSV for a long time, and we're always I'm sure you've been exposed to it a bit now. Or at least in the past, we used to always be saying, "Oh, you got to check out BSV." Or at least this is how I was. You got to check out BSV. It's so fast and cool. But now I've realized the way that if you want people to just use it more is just like these guys created Coon Battles. Just make this thing that works really well and is awesome and brings people in, because you, like you said, you see the cards like, oh, what the heck is this? And I've talked about on other streams. My brother-in-law, he's not in. I've been chirping at him about Bitcoin for years, and he's not really that too interested. But then he plays Magic, so we got into this, and then we were just talking about this game. We're using hand cash more than ever, sending little transactions back and forth. It's freaking awesome, man.
That's cool. I like it.
And we have another guest that just joined us from the Discord. So I want to introduce Nicholas Lalonde. Thank you so much, Nicholas, for joining us. Talk to us a little bit about your prep for this tournament and the egg meta in general. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Hey, fellas, be here. My setup basically was just trying to counter, but still have some power. So you're seeing people with all those eggs and all the Yugas and whatnot kicking ass with that. So I thought if I got something that can slow them down and still be able to wallop back, that might work. So tried to go for some balance.
And Nicholas, you are also getting ready. We just had Oot come on and speak to us. You are also in preparation mode right now for this final. Obviously playing a tournament, your blood ratchets up, but where are you at in terms of like your focus and your preparation for this upcoming event?
Playing all day, so I'm ready. Bring it on.
That's awesome. So are you feeling like you're in an instinct mode? Like, when you're playing all day, you get into that instinctual mode where the hand makes the move, and are you feeling that kind of flow right now?
Somewhat. The more mistakes I make, the more you know what to do, right? So it's a luck game, but at the same time, wrong move, and it slows you down enough to not be able to catch up. So you got.
And I got.
So I'm curious.
I got one more.
You said the.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll quickly ask.
Go ahead,
you said something about mistakes, and yes, I do agree. There is some luck to it. Of course, that first draw, somebody gets an Uga, somebody gets an Uga Chief, somebody gets a Pegasol, whatever it may be, and it could just be feeling like it's over. But if I dare ask, what type of mistake would you say is one that's not to be made in this form?
Like play out what's going to happen with your life totals and attacks and things like that.
Yeah, pretty much. I've
made mistakes.
Try to keep one, like if you can make a hit and keep your player on the board, then you get a hit. So that's one thing I try to do as much as I can.
Yeah, and then Nicholas, I do have one question. Thanks. The topic of the game right now, but I've been curious about this. So, and Craig knows as an OG Twitch, person, but you have that Bright Gang star in the middle of your name. So is that going all the way back to the old days of Twitch and the Bright Gang? And I wanted to ask you about that.
The Bright Gang represent.
Heck yeah, I knew it. Gem. Yeah, man. Well, we're gonna let you go, Nick, but thanks so much for jumping in and just get your pregame thoughts. We wish you a lot of luck, and thank you so much for being a wonderful part of our community.
Thanks for having me. I'm having a lot of fun, so cheers. We'll see you out there.
That's me.
All right.
Take it easy, Nick. Thanks,
all right.
Man.
We got Nikki Sanders also from the Discord. Nikki, welcome.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Happy to be here. I feel like I battled a couple of you guys, under my pseudonym Savage Puppy, but we're all
friends. That's you. Yeah. We've had some battles for sure then.
What's going on?
I want to ask you a question real quick, because right now there's no name. So a lot of people don't know, like, did I just lose to Savage Puppy or did I lose to Blends, or, what are your thoughts on that and the mystery? Like, it kind of eats at me sometimes. Like, I thought I lost to Oot, and then I realized that was old Craig's deck. Dang, like, I didn't know you had those Uga Chiefs in there, man.
Yeah, it's definitely. I feel like it feels better when you win against somebody you know, but if you lose against someone you don't know, you want an immediate rematch. Like, who is that person that just beat me? I got at least know their name. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know how long that's going to last. Obviously, we'll give the devs time, but for right now, anyhow, like, you just gotta keep playing, just keep cooming. I mean, to be honest with you, it's fun. It's fun enough, to be honest. So I think everyone's having a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know I am. It seems like everyone's having fun. I mean, the speed at which this game from, I don't know when the mint was, 5, 6, 7 weeks ago, whenever it was, the speed that it's been developed is it's impressive. It's fantastic. It's just gonna keep getting better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're you know, we're pushing the limits right now, and the big thing for this is that, you know, yes, these assets are using blockchain technology now, but you know, the Coom Lord, you know, our faithful leader here, he is like always trying to impress upon people that this is not just an NFT project, right? You know, that this is really like a business that just uses blockchain, right? It's a trading card game. And you know, like, and it's so hard to get that in people's heads because they're like, yeah, that's just like the shtick that you're using to sell your NFTs, like your NFT project. And it's like, no, it's the other way around. Like the fact that these are digital assets is the wood that's going into the fire that is the trading card game is the furnace, right? Like we're really like focused on that. And the thing is that you know, I'm not trying to go on a rant here or anything like that, but you know, we are really like sometimes like focused on our own communities as like, you know, how does, you know, what's trending in the blockchain community and you know, what does this person think about that person in the blockchain community on Twitter and stuff like that. And it's like, you know, no one in the real world cares anything about that, right? This is just technology that powers a really impressive, amazing game. And you know, the concept of this from a growth and go to market strategy is just like, hey, what is going to be better marketing for this game than these large elite tournaments? I mean, these are some of the ones that we're doing these past weekends are just literally testing grounds right now. Like, you know, but you know, the idea is to just to build this up into something that eventually competes with the Hearthstones. We're not really that far behind right now.
It's a big market, and that's the mindset that will make this product a real success. Everyone in this, not everyone, but so many people in blockchain, Bitcoin, crypto, whatever it is, it's all just pumponomics, and there's no consideration from a lot of these projects for actually building a business. And the gaming market for games like this is incredibly strong. You know, they call Magic the Gathering cardboard crack. I'm sure you've heard that, Brett. And these, you know, it's not to imply that it's some kind of bad addiction. I think I learned so much in my youth playing Magic. I learned how to socialize with people. I learned how to think strategically. You unwind and you have fun with these games. Wizards of the Coast, that makes Magic the Gathering, is a multi-billion-dollar company, and I think there's been a lot of mismanagement there, and still they continue to make a ton of money. So the fact that, or the mindset of making this a business makes so much sense. And I remember when Magic the Gathering Online came out, I don't know if it was 2000 or 2002, something like that. And I think the software for Coom Battles is already better than the Magic the Gathering Online software. But it was kind of this disconnect because you felt like you were getting, but what did you really have? You know, it's on their server, and it kind of felt bad. You could redeem them if you got a whole set for physical cards, but now Coom Battles has taken the same thing that's awesome about paper card games and put it on a blockchain, which can only be done on a blockchain. You really own these things. You can trade them. I love trading cards, and it's really so fun. So you guys are the first people to do it, and in this market that has room for new participants, it needs fresh blood. It needs new ideas. It needs the feel of old Magic, which this has, in my opinion. I think that there was something truly magic about old Magic the Gathering card that I think Coom Battles has tapped into as well. The same feeling. So it's very cool, and the fact that they have a long run perspective. You know, you said you want to. These are just testing grounds for tournaments. That's how you get people stoked about this, man. You get people to bring the energy to the tournaments. They're going to need to buy cards. You're going to sell more cards. I don't know if you guys are going to do limited formats like drafts and stuff. Like that would sell like hotcakes, and it would be so much fun. So I'm very excited about the future of Coom Battles, and so far the management has impressed rather than what other management of other card games done. So well,
I gotta ask Brett.
Guys,
Go
I think
ahead.
we're getting to the time. Let me know.
I was just wondering, can you give like a I mean, you were around for the beginning of Hearthstone, right?
Yeah, I've been playing Magic. When I started playing Magic, Legends was on the shelves. I always tell people that, like, they were in the purple sleeves, and the Revised was in the brown sleeves, and like the Legends are like $5 a pack, and the revised were like 285 or something. So I was like, yeah, I'm not wealthy enough for Legends, but I bought so many of those revised packs, and yeah, like the Legends is obviously kind of the format or the packs that you wish that you had a few more of. But yeah, I still have old Magic like unopened sealed product from back in that day too.
Damn. Well, I was curious of like kind of what the blueprint is for an online TCG. Like what does a successful online TCG look like? First 6 months, year, 2 years. You know what I mean? That's what I'm curious to. That's what everyone's thinking in the back of their mind, and they're comparing the trajectory of this game maybe to like more successful one. Since you've been around the space a little bit longer, playing some of those, I'm just curious to hear your take on that.
Yeah, so if I had a switch and I could just turn it on and everything that I want to happen with this game could happen, exactly what Craig was talking about. I want to see some limited formats where basically what that would be the equivalent of, imagine you can go to the store, you can buy a 25 card pack or something like that, and then you just make your deck with the cards that just came in the pack, right? Or you buy a 100 card deck and you build a deck out of like the best 30 cards or 25 cards from that pack, and you play against someone else that's doing the exact same thing, right? So it makes the format's called limited because you have a limited card pool, as opposed to right now for the free play you can play with whatever cards you want. If you really wanted to build your deck with all angels, you can do that. But yeah, I'd love to see really like these pauper tournaments, stuff where people are rewarded. Not you don't necessarily have to have all the Uga Chiefs and stuff like that. We're doing tournaments that are like rares only, tournaments that are commons and rares only, no mythics, just mythics. Just keeping this moving, and then the nice part is that as these so we really haven't even launched, we were talking about this with the Kumlord, really even haven't launched the game yet. Some of the mechanics are still being moved around and shifted, some of the game logic is still being built in, but when you're talking about something like connect your digital wallet or connect your owned items, your digital items that you own, to the game and play with those items, you can't do this in like a theoretical sense. Like theoretically, if these items existed, I'd connect them like this. You have to do an initial release of the assets just so that we can build in the logic and the infrastructure that actually enables these processes to work. But like legitimately, when we're talking about there's 40,000 cards on the market right now, that even like that's the alpha, like pre-alpha release, right? It's not even like theoretically like the actual alpha release. So but yeah, that's going to come like in-person conventions, going to like Comic Cons. Like I think that the Turdy is like the Pikachu of our format. A lot of people don't know the creator's a sort of like, keeps himself at arm's length from everything going on just so he can keep. But the creator is like a super funny, like totally like sarcastic, like he doesn't mind naming like one of his characters like Turdy and stuff like this. It's like that's what makes this game stand out. It's that it doesn't take itself too seriously, right? Like Turdy is like our Pikachu. Let's go. I'm saying it, like I'm riding that train, and like become like a global phenomenon where basically the community we keep iterating on the feedback and funneling that back into what people want. And the big thing about this too is golden egg. This is like, blockchain makes it easy to do distribution, to do actually, tracking and stuff like that. All you really have to do is give the people what they want. They want, ranked play, give them ranked play. They want, limited formats, give them limited formats. Like just keep your finger on the pulse of what people are asking for, and don't try to pretend like you're the smartest guy in the room. Just give the people what they want. Come on. That's economics 101.
No way the other games had that, that eye to the actual community, to the users. You know what I mean? I mean, it's so quick. Obviously, those games that started maybe in a different decade, right? But yeah, I think that the devs are really, they do have a finger on the pulse.
We have the confirmation that games have kicked off. Our producer backstage has let me know that we have games live. So can we flip over to that? And if not, can I could do that if so. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. So I need to manually begin and that's in the back end of the tournament events itself, right? It's kind of okay. Gotcha. Go to match, and so you're talking about in the actual community gaming platform. Yes. So Oot won the flip. So Oot is playing first. Is that what I need to do, or is there something else I need to do? And Nicholas is going first. I'm sorry. Oot is going first. Yes. All right. Yeah. Guys, like Oot has a legendary kind of like demeanor, right? He's very like low key. He doesn't get too excited or too disappointed. But I was surprised to see how like level-headed Nicholas was. Like he's not feeling phased. He's like, I've been playing all day. Like I'm gonna take this dude down. Like let's go. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see which of these guys can actually keep that composure because it's a best of 5. This is the finals. So all right.
We got to ask everybody who's betting on who.
That's a good question. All right.
Yeah, this is challenging. I don't think I've had a chance to face off against Nicholas, not with these decks. So to me, it's kind of in the air. I'm excited to see. You know what I would like to see? I would like to see 2 Pandorables pulled from eggs or something like that in the first 2 hands. So it just starts off really, really low. Nobody has a major advantage. For now, we'll see how it goes. But it will be dangerous if you see like an Uka Chief, or I don't even know. Even a Tree Guard coming up first is not so great, but it's actually not bad on the first draw getting something like a Tree Guard. But we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, and for those that don't know what Blends is talking about, let me just, the green eggs will play a free nature card from your hand, but that doesn't mean that it has to be the biggest, scariest one that you have. You might have this little champion, the Pandorable, and if you free play that, it is definitely feel bads. But the nice part is that you can play those out ahead of time, and then you can that way it's not in your hand, right? Because you've already played it. It looks like we already have game action here, and we have a turn one Uga Chief, which is basically I think the best start you can have. Uga Chief go. This is what I've been afraid of for the entire tournament.
And no Eagle in hand.
Exactly. So how are you going to deal with that? You have to get to 4 mana, and you have to play your Glaciador. But with the fact that the other thing you can do is so he's going with the Monk and Scorchwing strategy, but that is 2 turns. That means the Uga Chief attacks for 3 turns with 8 attack, and that's 24 damage. You're already at 36, and the game basically just started.
It feels insurmountable. I don't think it is entirely insurmountable. I think that usually you'll probably lose in this situation, but I've been defeated having had hot starts like this.
Yeah. So to answer your question, Nikki,
probably by
thank you again, Savage Puppy, for joining us. But who do I bet on for this tournament? Going into the event, I would have definitely bet on Oot. But after I had them both on the show and listened to like the cold steel confidence that Nicholas has, and his Bright Gang represent, like I can't bet against Nicholas, and we see he cleared the board with an Inferno Scorchwing, and it looks like Oot passed back, and there comes Pegasi. So again, to what Craig said, that Oot has shaved his Ugas and some of these other 4-drops, and you see now in the middle game, Nicholas is able to use that to his benefit. And Oot, a careful thinker. I believe Oot went first, so Oot is wondering how to deploy his 5 mana. The nice part is he does have Flamingwalkins in the deck, but the Pegasi at 6 HP does get around that. So he decides for a Grun into Uga Chief, and on 5, yeah. So he's trying to just end the game right now, but that is when the Glaciador comes down. This is a turnaround. You said it's not over, but you need some help, and it looks like Nicholas has somehow managed to almost crawl out, because here's the thing is that Grun playing Uga Chief for 5, when you have 5 mana, you could wait 1 turn and spend 6 on the same thing, and then you don't have to waste that egg on it. But Oot opting for getting it out quicker, but does spend a card to do so.
Oot at this point has such a strong advantage in total life that it's wait, I'm sorry, who's on the bottom?
Nicholas is on the bottom.
Yeah, and with no provoke in hand or really anything to stop a full-on assault, I think just going for bashing right to Nicholas's head, it's going to be hard to stop that momentum, I think.
We see that Nicholas dropped a Purity. That is that angel we talked about in the pregame show, and then follows it up with the Soul Swimmer. The Purity, of course, comes in because of that Ponk. The Purity has the Bless mechanic and blesses itself. But now with the Soul Swimmer and the Purity, that is 21 damage. And I believe that Uga Chief is still frozen this turn because of that Glaciador.
Do you think we'll see something... some type of
It was an
right.
Eaglon.
I was gonna say Inferno.
Eaglon and getting
Ooh,
double
2.
Eaglon, but now Oot has 2 Eaglons in the deck, so those are his 2. He needed them right then, and he had them. But that's why you get lucky sometimes,
You can see here
and
also the
it
same
up with
effect.
another Uga Chief. Wow. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you can see here now the effect of Oot's strategy of having a lot of small 2-drop cards, running out of cards, or having less cards in his hand in total, but using that to take advantage of the time.
Exactly. And now I believe this
timing couldn't have been better for those 2 with Whirlwinds.
And cleans up that Purity, or excuse me, cleans up that Pegasol, Illumi, and blessing the egg. We talked about this.
This is looking like a tough one. The egg is blessed. That is, yeah, it's.
And you have to wonder what's going through Nicholas's head right now. Is he just getting the temperature of Oot in order to craft his counter punch? Like almost like the Thrilla in Manila, or some of those like Muhammad Ali fights where he goes on the ropes in order to come back stronger. All right, so we have the game 1 decided, and that is game 1 goes to Oot with he had just a monster deployment of champions there, a flurry, a whirlwind of attacks.
The whirlwind, to me, from what I saw, really just changed it and made it pretty much impossible to come back from. And then we saw another Uga, if I'm not mistaken, and an Uga Chief too. Gosh.
Yeah. All right.
Wow.
And in this, at the same time as this event, we have the concurrent 3rd place event as well going. So I will be doing some reporting as results come in for that. It is Commander Chief against Haruki, one of the other Japanese community members, and Nicholas offering the GGs in the organized play chat. Oot responding with GGs.
We're on mixed boards here. Nothing. I would expect nothing less.
Yeah. All right. And now, having lost game 1, Nicholas is on the play. And as we know, when you can play a turn 1 Uga Chief, being on the play is quite an advantage. All right, it looks like we have a turn 1 Purity, blessing itself, and go. So there's a question here of whether or not blessing itself or blessing the egg. Theoretically, you get that attack in the next turn with the egg and the Purity, and you sort of, you still dealt 12. It just dispersed across 2 creatures, and then when the Eaglon comes down, at least you have the blessed egg, but getting 12
That's true,
sneaky
and I like
attack.
the fact that the egg,
Yeah, go ahead.
like the egg, really just kind of like provides a little bit of a buffer as well, and makes your purity a little less of a target, just a bit.
Yeah. Guys, I just want to mention too, we are live on Twitter right now. We're live on Twitch. Soon we'll be live on Twitter when we host these tournament coverage events. I want to thank our guests, Blends and Savage Puppy, as well as Old Craig. Eaglon comes down, returns the Purity. That Monk is up to a 412, and this is Nicholas's strategy, right? Is he's building like an impervious Monk, like Monk comes gets from Oot, gets a sneaky attack in, so does that Eaglon.
Card disparities there, though. We'll see.
And we're on 4 now. This is the mana slot that Oot sort of eschewed, but Nicholas has deployed, and we see a Purity on the Monk. So this is like a like a 7 attacking 12 health Monk now. So it's like almost like build a threat.
Yeah, the 1-drop Life Bloom cards are more powerful than I would have expected.
Absolutely.
Especially when stacked with blood.
Yeah. And we don't see it a lot in these formats, but then there's also the effect Psybeam, which will switch the power and the health and the attack of a creature, of a champion, and that could be used to devastating effect as well. So Purity comes down from Oot. Now we see with 5 mana a Rushed Pegasi is a 5/6. The 7/12 attacks the Purity and is able to clean it up with the 2 Pandorables. Now Pandorable comes back down. It looks like he Life Bloomed the Monk. Is that right? So is that 7/9? Am I seeing for that Monk? That's a 7/7.
It looks like a 7/7, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Okay, and then Oot at 26. Comfortable. Nicholas is at 54. Again, this low to the ground, this nimble and mana efficient strategy. Oot has 7 cards in his hand, but guess what? Only 1 thing on the board.
It's got 3 Scorch Wings and 2 Flamagwalkins, yeah?
Yeah, but and that Monk returned to hand with Eaglon's Whirlwind ability. That is true. Those Flamagwalkins are nothing to mess with. I did open a mint. I minted a Flamagwalkin. And Inferno had a different ability in the beginning, so I traded it, and then it turned out that that ability Inferno is quite good. I wish I hadn't traded it.
Yeah, you're talking to someone who's buying a couple of Bless cards before they change that up.
Yep. Yeah, it used to be +2/+2. The old heads, no. Yep.
Now it pairs quite nicely with Life Bloom. 1 on 1 dead, 1 on the attack.
Yeah. And Life Bloom, a lot of people don't know, but Life Bloom was supposed to only increase the health back to the original health. So if you had taken damage, you could Life Bloom, but it wouldn't have actually buffed the health beyond where it was supposed to go. And but the person who coded the game logic in didn't realize that, so he just made it buff it, and then people played it and they're like, they liked it, and they're like, just leave it.
Fun how it is now, especially with the consideration of Psybeam, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really opens up the ability for Psybeam.
Oh, what are those?
honestly.
I'm curious.
Yep. So Scorchwing comes down.
Did you say something about some of the? Sorry, Craig. Did you have any abilities to propose the abilities of Psybeam?
When you factor in that you can Life Bloom something to be have a huge backside.
I see. Yes, I see where you're coming from.
Makes it fun.
Yep.
To me, like this game is pretty much in Nicholas's hands. to lose. I don't see how he could really probably lose this. Even the haste
And
with some Russian vortex in the hand.
he's at 7 right now, so he's can deploy that Pegasi, gets in a sneaky 6. Hydrofang represents, and then the Monk represents. So you could Grun the Monk out and then Hydrofang, and that's it. Well, Nicholas
Guys,
showing.
it's like 5 matches might not be it. It might need to be 7.
Hey, we do what the community wants. If they want 7, we'll start taking that into consideration. These are fast matches too, so it would be fun to see like a best of 9 for like really serious like high money events. Like like you get the sweat and it's best of 9.
The World Series of Boom. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I love that the world champion of the game is just like the game's name. It's the champion of Otherworldly Magic. It's like the game built in the champion's title into the game itself.
The Coomer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like it is fun that the games are fast, man. You can sit down and just play a couple of games in 15 or 20 minutes. It's
yeah.
That's as I get older and I have more obligations, playing Magic the Gathering, it's too much of a time commitment. But I sit down and play a couple of games of Coom Battles with my son watching, who's 4. We have a great time.
Yeah. And for those that are just tuning in but haven't gotten a chance to play the game yet, my name is Manifestable. We're joined with Blends, with Old Craig, Cope, and with Savage Puppy. Our Discord is open. Check us out on Twitter. Check us out on the socials. Come on in, just ping me, and I will. I'll do a session with you, walk you through how to play. It's a lot of fun. All right, we see a turn 1 Monk followed by a turn 1 Pegasol on Nicholas's side, and then the Uga Chief on turn 2. Now, this Uga Chief and Pegasol, they sort of like stare at each other, and neither one wants to tangle with the other because they don't kill each other. With some of these other cards, like the Pegasol can get in there and actually kill it at 7 attack, but Uga Chief just outside of that range and means that it's a little bit harder to get rid of that Uga Chief. And again, so you see Nicholas just ignoring what's on the board and going for the face, dropping a Hydrofang. I mean, this is fast and furious.
I like the fact that Nicholas went second, which means he's at an inherent disadvantage here in terms of the race.
Right.
We're going for it.
Good
Yes.
point.
And we saw a Inferno come down, but it wiped away an egg. Inferno has the ability to deal damage to opposing champions, but when you play those eggs, you get that sneaky little way that it can soak up some Inferno damage that might otherwise have gone to your more powerful champion.
Eggs have definitely taken a hammer to the Inferno card, to be honest with you.
100%. Now, here's where we're in the middle game now, 43 to 40, and it seems like Oot has 3 cards in hand, whereas Nicholas has 5, and these are those moments where a little bit of a longer game can sometimes give you a tiny benefit.
He inherently likes shorter games and not having to go the long game because he's going to always have a little bit less card advantage playing those small drops.
Yeah,
and he does also save a lot of big drops, which make him not get to that point of having no cards.
So that blessed egg was able to come down, attack the Purity, and then the Pegasol finished it up. But you see an Eaglon. Did anyone see what that Eaglon returned? I missed that.
Yeah, it returned his Lumi, but the Lumi wasn't blessed.
Yes. So now I have to wonder, sometimes I just don't want to return the Lumi, but the thing is, I'd rather return the Lumi like an egg. It just goes to show you, Lumi is such a great card, and you want to give your opponent the Lumi as opposed to the egg, and the egg costs 1 less mana. I mean, it puts into perspective how absolutely bonkers busted these eggs are, and it's fun, like we knew that they were going to be format warping, but it's let's do it. Let's have some fun.
No, it's not like this is so lean and so OP in any particular way, because as long as we're all working within the same limits. I mean, as you see, the battles aren't necessarily a minute. Some of them can definitely go by really, really quickly. But with a reasonably slow start for both sides, the matches slowly start to build out, and you start to see these eggs getting buffed, and you start to see these Pandorables getting buffed, sometimes twice over. They're like 4/7 Pandorables, or it's pretty good to see.
Wow. So Pegasol looks like it can be played for 6 mana, and he still has the Punk to refill his hand with an additional card. Interesting. And now it's a race. So at 18, you have to do the dirty work and clean up that monk. But again, those life bloomed coming in handy, because now Elon is able to apply the damage but stay on the board. And I'm interested to see if he'll use this Punk just to refill a card in his hand, or if he wants to preserve the Punk.
It looks like he
future
did.
turn.
I think he'd want to play it here. I don't see why
surprised about that, but
he wants to conceal what he has. Maybe make Oot think he has something.
That's a good call.
I personally, if it was me, I would hold it. Just hope that I can do a 1-2 punch, because depending on what comes next, I would hope that I can do a little.
Yeah, but even if you drew a Pegasol, you can play the Pegasol, right? So, okay, so the Flamagwaki comes down.
That's not bad, but this is also tough too. What are you gonna do? Take out that Flamagwakin? I mean, this is tough.
Here's where, like when I'm playing these games myself, you have to play the Pegasi first and then the Punk. Oh, wow. So if he had played that Punk last turn, then he would have drawn the Uga Chief this turn, and he could have just so he returns the Flamagwakin, which is not what you want to do, but sometimes you have to do it. It looks like so Flamagwakin can soak up the egg. Unfortunately, the egg did not shield the Pegasi. It shielded the Eaglon, but interesting, because now the Uga Chief can get life bloomed, and you can take out that Flamagwakin. And now depending on what's in Oot's hand, but again, Nicholas downshifts, but then shifts back up into the driver's seat. And unfortunately, what was in Oot's hand was just the God hand. He had the Uga Chief and the Pegasol off the Punk, and pushing Nicholas down to 3. Nicholas has to dig. Oh, he has a perfect card. He got the Bear. He has the Wakey Bear. That is that the Wakey Bear? Yeah. So it's the 4-mana one. The 4-mana one. So is that the Provoke, or is that's the?
That might be the Blizzard. Let me see.
I don't think it was the Blizzard. I think
it's the Provoke one. I have that card. I wish it was Provoke.
Oh, it would have been
when I saw
it
that,
was the one. Yeah,
this
then
is
that
decent.
Been,
I mean,
that would have been
he could soak up
but
something. Maybe.
So let's look at it. Oot is at 42. So if you just count the Oot Chief, that is what 6 Chief, right? 5 hits would be 40. So it's basically you're on a 5-turn clock. So if you can manage to the Wakey Bear is going to soak up 1 attack from the Pegasi. Of course, you have to fade a rush card, which is not. But the other thing is that if he can somehow survive this turn here, I was going to say he could, and he could somehow life bloom that Wakey Bear, but the Wakey Bear is going to die to that Pegasol. It looks like.
Right. I mean, you're Nicholas.
So many turns.
What do you want Oot to draw? What's going to keep you in the game? Because he's got to attack Wakey Bear. After
Eaglon.
That, what's your...
Actually, Eaglon wouldn't work, because Eaglon can bounce the Wakey Bear.
Well,
I would say a Monk. No, Monk won't. A Monk won't even work, because the Monk gets through.
Do it. He's done.
Yeah. Lumi, maybe Lumi would have been the best draw for Nicholas there, because Lumi can't. Right. Yeah, although no, because Lumi could buff the egg. So yeah, there was not many live draws that Nicholas had there. But what we're seeing is that the player who's on the play won in all 3 games, and
yeah, that's I think that Coon Battles eventually should take a page out of Magic's book and make it so whoever goes first doesn't draw a card, because I think even then going first would be a huge advantage. because this game is so the tempo is so important. But that'd be one thing that evens it out slightly.
Absolutely, yeah. I like the idea. It doesn't draw a card. Yeah, something needs to happen, but there are there's a lot of things being coded in right now, and so I'm not sure exactly where that stands on the list, but it's one of the ones that needs to get worked for that worked for future competitive events for sure. Because it is just such an advantage to go first, especially in this egg format that just hyper accelerates everything. All right, we're seeing Nicholas on the play right now. Nicholas on the play opens up. He has the blue egg, but he can only cast the Hydrofang for free.
He's going for the Hydrofang with the tempo of the egg. Tempo seems to be everything.
Yeah, interesting. He's played all day long, he said. So he knows that he's played these games before where he can grunt in the Hydrofang, and he knows that is the correct play. And here you're seeing why, because
guys, this is looking pretty promising right now.
Yeah, because he has this
it's a slow
monster.
Build, but
importantly, he has two very defensive cards in his hand as well, so he can clean up the board. So what you're wanting to see here is, something like Monk, etc. And what you're not wanting to see is Eagle-On. And Oot playing only 2 Eagle-Ons.
I was surprised to see no Mecha Flies, no Mecha Drones from anyone, even though those seem like very powerful cards. People are opting for the cheap Eagle-On.
Right. So now the Scorchwing is going to clean up the Lumi. That's a 1-for-1, even though you could eventually get a 2-for-2, but or 2-for-1 with if you allow him to play another creature. But like you said, Craig, it's a game about tempo, and you have to strike while the iron's hot.
That's why the Eagle-On came out so hot, because it is about, and you might be down and out, almost feeling like that within the first and or second hand. So Eagle-On definitely, as you see right there.
You see that Eagle-On come down, but now it's not so bad, because at 4 mana, there are a lot of options here for. Okay, so the Eagle-On's dying to those 2 Leafies. Interesting, because those Leafies are very useful when it gets to those Flamiguacan turns, and you see that, but double Flamiguacan, double Scorchwing, enough to take out the field, but leaves the Pegasi, exactly what Nicholas needed. And those are, as far as I know, they are fairly random what is being dealt at damage, but a Flamiguacan. So double Inferno on turn 4, and then followed up with a Flamiguacan Inferno on turn 5 to wipe the board. And Nicholas rips a Pegasol, looking like he's taking out the Flamiguacan. Interesting, because
I would have been inclined to go for the head there on the opponent with such a
I would have
strong
too.
Advantage.
With such a lead, I see.
Especially with the now the Monk can clean up the Pegasol. Purity comes down, blesses itself. But luckily, the Purity is going to eat a Glaciador. And the Pandorable comes down, buffs up itself. I'm surprised at that, because, again, you're not building a Voltron with Glaciador. We see a Uga Chief come down. And because the Pandorable buffed itself as opposed to that Glaciador, the Uga Chief is able to eat it for free.
I think we're
now we see you can pay for the Purity.
Think
so? Wow, yeah. I'm surprised at
2 good targets
to take out the Uga Chief. Yeah, that was a good Chief. Good turn. And then Soul Swimmer. Now, if there is some, Nicholas has, 1 less Uga Chief, etc., or 2, maybe even 2 less in his deck, but he is bringing these Soul Swimmers to the action. And the Soul Swimmers, when I was playing earlier today, I was surprised to look at the stats, because I really haven't played too much. They are 9 attack, 7 health with the Vortex effect, and they're only 5 mana. So, unfortunately, was not able to deploy it.
Yeah, that's a good card.
Last turn, because he was only at 3, but looking like and the Pegasol, blessed by Lumi, is able to take out the Purity, and that seemed like that was a strong a card that Nicholas needed to survive at least one turns.
See, right there, I personally wouldn't have gone. Maybe I missed it, but maybe I wouldn't have gone. I'm questioning that move to buff that
The Soul
Swimmer,
Swimmer.
because that Purity can take it
Yeah.
out. I mean, it can lose to it, of course, right? Both will drop, but the Pandorable would have been able to deal with the Lumi
You're right.
if it was buffed. So that was a tough call. on
Yeah,
my
and
side.
here we're seeing the inherent disadvantage, inherent card disadvantage of playing things like Pandorable, because you're playing a lot of guys that don't do a lot but make your other guys bigger, and then when they die, you're stuck with a 1/2, but you have less cards than your opponent. So this is what seemed like a strong start. He could theoretically stabilize here. Oot could. He is. Going for the dome, trying to grind him down. If he gets the right draws, he could do it. It's going to be close.
Yeah. Oot with 4 cards in hand, a 12-9 Purity on the board, and Oot winning this best of 5, 2 games to 1. So this is looking bad for Nicholas, but also this is a do or die moment for him right now. The Hydro Fang is a pretty good card because Vortex does at least get that 3 damage in.
It just doesn't.
Pandorable with a sneaky one.
It can't absorb the damage. That's
Nicholas is,
right?
and we see another Ugachi. I think that's it. Yeah, this Purity has come in, and Oot remains undefeated
once again
across 2 weekends, 4 separate brackets, and he's just unstoppable. Oot.
The future first inductee to the Coom Battles Hall of Fame. I can see it now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Guys, congratulations.
Well done.
That was,
we have our champion.
That was epic. That was a comeback. Wow.
And Oot, Nicholas says, good game. LOL, can't beat that. And he said it was an honor to play against you, Oot. Oot is absolutely ecstatic right now. He is smiling ear to ear, and we have, he defended his place. Oot is the champion of Otherworldly Magic and remains world number 1.
And still, is he undefeated, entirely undefeated so far in tournament play?
He's undefeated in tournament play.
Wow. That
matches.
That's in terms of games like this, that's amazing in terms of the indication of what skill is involved here, skill in both deck building and playing, because even the best Magic players have like a, 60-65% game win or match win rate. So of course he's definitely, I'm sure there's some effect of running good, getting good draws, but the deck building in an undefined format, 2 different formats between this tournament and last tournament, it's really amazing to see the ability and what the practice of playing with this Japanese community, play testing, has done to make him win 2 in a row. It's amazing, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, and Oot gave a special acknowledgement to the play testing partner, the entire community as Oot, but he gave a special acknowledgement to Bay, who is also an old Twitch user. Did you happen to notice that? I think Bay is like 551 or something like this. But yeah, so I wanted to give an acknowledgement to Bay because, it's like, I'm not sure exactly how much is God-given ability with Oot and how much is through Bay's coaching and stuff. But Oot gave a big time acknowledgement to the amount of support that Bay has done. And also, it was interesting that you asked the question how Oot got into this game in the beginning in the first place, and his answer was not expecting it. Was I love BSB.
I wasn't either. Yeah. People can come from different directions.
Yeah, it makes sense because Bay being like, I think Bay's like 551. What's your Twitch number, by the way, Craig?
I'm 1671. A little bit behind
1671. Yeah, a little. Yeah, so you're in the 4 digits, Bay in the 3 digits. I'm still a 4 digit. I had the 9802. So, But yeah, this is going back 3 or 4 years on that Twetch community, and seeing that sort of develop out of Twetch into the Ordinals wallet community and stuff like that is cool, and sort of like still keep that that ethos of kind of building a blockchain community from scratch.
But it's a very unique group of people who have stuck around, if you're coming from the BSV side, this far, with all of the lack of proof of price, the number go down technology, and everything else that we've been fighting against. And it leads to a very interesting group of people that I really I feel like a Lumi has blessed me to be a part of. It's very fun.
Yeah. I know one thing I'll say about BSV, they
like
do
that.
have the best memers, like the BSV memes are just by far, they're fire, like you got OrcTap,
Number one. Absolutely. Making me want to stomp.
Making what?
Stomp on a hard drive.
Yeah, the ones where it's like the price action, and it's like Josh Henley like showering himself in the morning. Like, whoa, this is like, it's just so ridiculous. It's so funny. Oh my God. But all right. So we did have a third round match. So we are streaming live. Just a quick note to our producer. We have live coverage of the game 5 for the third place result, and that will be following the game action of Commander Chief and Haruki. So let's see if we can switch over there. I feel like Scott Hansen, in the red zone chair right now, like we're close to there we go. Okay, so let's put this up on screen and let's catch up on where we are in the action. 56-49. So we did just jump in, right? We see a tree guard come in, it looks like off of a Grun, and then a Purity. So I'm assuming that we're watching Commander Chief right now. Haruki piloting the deck at the top of the screen. Purity comes down and go ahead.
I was gonna say Haruki's deck looks very similar to Oots or even to Nicholas's, whereas we're seeing cards we didn't see otherwise. Rogorser, Tree Guard, and then Scorchwing and Eagle, of course we saw, but interesting to see how these decks will fare. 2 different builds. And this is game 5.
Yeah, this is live. This is game 5, and this is this is for the money because third place pays and fourth place gets you a pat on the back.
Fourth place is the Bubble Boy, the infamous Bubble Boy.
Yeah, it's the Bubble Boy right there.
And you know what's interesting about this? All these decks, I haven't seen any Sandstalkers. But Sandstalker was such a strong performer in the last tournament, and there's none at all so far.
Absolutely, and that's part of the fun of.
That's because you haven't played my deck yet. Hopefully,
you got the Sandstalkers blend.
I added one. I had to just because I got wrecked by it a couple of times in the first round, the first tournament. So, yeah, you're right. It's not really the top pick here. I think Pegasol is just too much of not so much of a counter. They trade, but more people are going to choose triple Pegasol and draw it with a Punk potentially. So yeah, Sandstalker just didn't make the cut for many people.
Okay, Hydro.
And here we go, another situation of more card advantage for who? I'm sorry, who's Commander's opponent? Haruki.
Haruki. Yep.
Haruki, on the board. Yeah, it's a dead heat at this point. It feels like.
Uga Chief, the draw. It looked like for Commander Chief. One thing I really like when there's like the 30-second think before taking the game action. Like, I think that competitive players, like when you're playing casually, you just take the game action. But when you're really starting to hone in your competitive skills, you really want to take that time to plan out the action. At 6 mana, what is the decision here with Lumi? It looks like the question is whether to attack the face with Lumi, or it looks like maybe what he's considering is to attack the Pegasol and follow up with a Scorchwing just to get rid of it.
And then you have no other drop this turn.
Yeah, he has. Yes, exactly. And maybe if he had one other drop,
the aggressive route.
Yeah, he's racing, and to be fair, Haruki is at 27. Soul Swimmer coming down and dropping with the Vortex ability, Commander Chief down to 33. Commander Chief, one of the oldest players, has been playing for a very long time. Looks like the Purity blessed the Pegasaur. The Pegasaur was able to take out the Uga Chief without dying because of that Pegasaur, importantly, at that 9 HP point, inflection point.
Now, do you think we take out the egg here to ensure that we get that Pegasaur gone, or what's your thought?
I think so. Oh no, he's going to take it out that way.
All right.
Then if you go double Inferno, you get
you get everything. No, it does work. Oh, because
it changes what's the biggest toughness.
Yeah. But still opting for that double Inferno, and we're looking at now it's a game of card advantage because Haruki at 3 cards, but about to draw the 4th, whereas just that one Rogorser. The nice part is that Rogorser is a rushed 8-power creature, so effectively, you're concealing from your opponent that essentially their life total looks like it's at 27, but it's actually at least at 19. And wow, this Mecha Fly. So that is the 3-mana.
This is a tough one to use.
I've been seeing a little bit of that.
That's the first Mecha Fly. He can play both of these.
He can play both of these. The question is, do you?
And I think Soul Swimmer is the only thing you can target.
Pegasaur.
Interesting. Why? I guess because you can kill the other thing, but then if he's doing that, that's dying too. And now he has 4 cards versus 0 versus Mecha Fly.
Yeah.
I wonder if he could have taken that one directly to the face.
Even then, I think he's in bad shape because he has no cards either way. Now he's taking it down.
The other thing, you can return the blue egg, but nobody wants to return a blue egg to their opponent. You know what I mean? That's the worst.
Right.
It's just a free draw.
And then
just give him a new card.
Because he's going to have 9 from the Soul Swimmer next turn, and then 7 from the Pegasus. So I guess he could be at 1.
Drops him to 16.
No plus or no haste.
So yeah, but the best thing you could hope to draw here would be, okay, so let's say that it goes to the face, then you really are hoping to draw, like I was going to say a Flammaguacan, but it wouldn't get it done.
No.
I mean, I suppose there's a chance that Flammaguacan could get it done. So you swing the Mecha Flies into the Soul Swimmers and the Pegasaurs, then you Flammaguacan and just hope. But yeah, even it looks like it's not even going to get to the next turn. Monkey comes down and cleans it up. So Haruki, another one of our Japanese players, secures 3rd place. Congratulations.
The Japanese domination.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well done.
Yeah.
I still stand by Monkey in the deck. At least a pair of them.
I too cope for monkeys. Yes, I like monkeys.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, wow.
Well, that was exciting.
It really was. We got what we bargained for here. We had the defending champion Oot hang on and remain the world number 1. Going 4 games with Nicholas. And I think, evaluating the strategies now, curious, having gone toe to toe with Oot, especially when you're deck building and you're going to the tournament, you obviously don't know what a player like Oot is going to pull out of his hat. But, I think that if I would have wanted to see a little bit different few cards, I think that you have to play the 3 Uga Chiefs in this format. It's a must. The 3 Pegasaurs, a must. All the Ponks, all the Gruns. And then, yeah, it seems like Raumund talked about it last night. Blends, you got to get some games in with Raumund last night, but those blue eggs, being able to play those Hydrofangs and Soul Swimmers and stuff, I think from what I'm seeing, that does seem like the most effective strategy right now.
Yeah, I think the blue eggs, I guess, those ones were not as common as far as I can see. I do see some people using them, don't get me wrong, but I think just because the light and the nature type just kind of had so much more of that rush characteristic, and a lot of people did notice that quite a few people had Tree Guard in their decks. But yeah, I'm not still a firm believer that you need to have 9 eggs to win this one. I don't think so. I don't know if the champions here did have 9 eggs.
I don't think
What's
they
the
did.
call on that?
I think there was no. I think they used plastic
Yeah, I
around
didn't.
that.
I didn't think it was
No
necessary.
one did. Yeah.
Personally, for blue. Yeah, like I thought
Oh, there
maybe
was Soul
6
Swimmer.
eggs was fine.
Was Soul Swimmer in the winter stacks? I don't think it was. Or maybe there was one.
Soul Swimmer was not in Oot's deck. No. Ook,
Interesting.
yeah. We did have one blue
How
egg.
about Sandstalker?
No
Sandstalkers, because Sandstalkers can't come in off an egg. If there was like a normal egg,
Yeah.
you know, like because Sandstalker is a normal elemental type, which I don't know about you, but does that make sense? Is there anything resembling normal about a Sandstalker? It doesn't seem normal to me. You know, I would not want to mess with that. Like if I, you know, bring me a Soul Swimmer. Yeah, I'm going to take a Soul Swimmer down. Like, I'm not scared of that. But, you know, I look at that Sandstalker and, like, my butthole crinkles a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see that thing, you know?
Yes, whereas when it comes from Fox Assassin, looks like a nice little dog. And then
right, yeah, I would take
horrible.
Fox Assassin to my dog park, like my local neighborhood dog park, but somehow it turns into the Sandstalker, you know, like I don't know. I'm not following that. And there's nothing normal about it. Let's just put it that way.
No, but the flavor is a heck of a lot of fun. I'll tell you what, with Tomb Battles. Flavor's just on point.
Yeah, it's such a fun game. If you're just tuning in and you haven't gotten some games in, we're very inviting, welcoming community. We are live streaming right now to Twitch. We're gonna be doing a lot more of that. And yeah, if you are a Hearthstone competitive player or something like that, you want to come in. You know, I would love to see sort of like a 16. Coomers versus 16 Hearthstones, like, bracketed tournament where, it's like who can actually we do some for that one, but yeah, so there you have it. We have the conclusion of our day 2 coverage. Before we jump off, I want to kind of hear your thoughts, the two of you. Maybe we'll start with Blends and just say, Blends, what are you thinking about these 2-day formats, the weekend series? We started with an invitational, so you had to be, asked to join the tournament. Then we became an open series. Even if you aren't a part of the Discord and you just want to join, you can. And both of those were free plays. Talk to me about these 2-day tournaments, the format, things you'd like to see from us going forward, and maybe what you'd be looking for out of the next event.
So, first of all, I would say, look, free to play. At least these first 2 are free to play, and that right there is enough for anybody to just kind of check it out, just join, learn something if you want, dive into the BSV side, the Bitcoin Ordinals side. It's up to you. But at least you can jump in and learn about what we're doing over here and see, like I said in the very beginning when I first jumped on stream, this is like a really interesting, to me, very exciting community. A lot of us have been part of various communities, whether it be on Twitter, Twitch, I don't know, Discord. I could say a bunch more. I mean, there's just so many different communities around here on these different applications, and this is one gaming experience that I've had on blockchains that, even though the action is not necessarily on chain here, but the assets are definitely represented on chain. And I've played so many different GameFi experiences, just so many, and there's nothing super lofty about their ideas, other than maybe some of the ideas are to promise or to suggest that there's a great chance to earn something in return. This is a little bit different in the sense that there's like a big push, I feel like it's brewing for more cards to be generated. And I think that is, like I said, way back, is one of the biggest reasons why I thought this was exciting. Some people thought that it was a bad idea to have more cards. In my mind, it's like, if you had more cards, I wouldn't be jumping in. So if you didn't, pardon me, have more cards coming, I wouldn't be into it, because I could see where it's going and it would be absolutely nowhere. Right? So the fact that there are more cards coming, the fact that there are some free-to-play, is a free-to-play experience. The weekend energy is good. You can pretty much take your turns as you wish. It's not super demanding. You have time. You could run to the washroom, get a drink, maybe cook some dinner. Guys, I'm talking about stuff that I really have to do, So I'm saying it from real life experience. It's an amazing experience, guys. I would definitely encourage everybody to check it out. It's been a great time. And also, to go a little further from what I would like to see, as we practice these matches, of course, somebody suggested, how about not giving any of the rules until 1 or 2 hours before, which would be tough for some of us in our schedules, right? But that would be pretty cool. Everybody would just be practicing everything, and then suddenly Mythicals only. It's like, wow, or Mythics only. Sorry, I'm sorry if I'm referring to it in English, but that would be tough. But that would be really, really cool. We've got 3 days, a week or so to practice. I think once we start to get an idea of how long these matches are kind of typically taking, I think we could, in some rounds, increase the matches to 5.
Yeah.
In some earlier rounds. Or I would like to see, if not that might be a bit much, but if not that, I would definitely like to see the round robin idea. Because sometimes the 3 matches, it decides something, but it's like, but you can clearly see that somebody was at a complete disadvantage for the first 2 or 3 draws, which just comes up with the territory of randomly drawing. But also it could definitely show or expose a weakness in a deck build. So it's kind of hard to say. In some cases, we really don't know. So I think a bit of another round robin would, in my opinion, satisfy those who joined and maybe have lost. Maybe they won 1 game and they lost 2 on a crazy like blowout, which is like, really? That's it. So it's like a little bit of extra padding, I guess, for the soul,
Yeah, absolutely. Craig?
Oh yeah, man. You hit on a lot of stuff there, Blends, that I can totally relate to. As far as the 2-day format, I think that's really fun. I enjoyed playing last night. I got totally just demolished in the first round, but I'm glad I got to come and watch today. It really adds some suspense to the end of the tournament, because otherwise I would have gone to bed and found out who won this morning. Instead, we get to watch this really fun stream, especially if you're into this kind of stuff. And one thing about Coom Battles is that it's really fun to watch as compared to, and I love Magic the Gathering, but with Magic the Gathering, it's a lot more complex what the cards do. The games go so much longer. It's not nearly as fun to watch, which I think is a great thing about Coom Battles. I like that this was single elimination. I also like that the last one was Swiss. This kind of reminds me of the old meat grinders tournaments. They used to call them single elimination to qualify for the U.S. Nationals for Magic the Gathering. It's really fun. You have to run, Blends, you were talking about how you end up getting hosed in 1 game. You're out of the tournament. Yeah, it definitely feels bad. But also at the same time, it kind of reminds me of poker tournaments where you just have to run to win one of these big tournaments with so many people. You're going to have to run red hot that day. And if you play enough, you'll run red hot one time if you're doing well. The long run always catches up in terms of skill versus luck. Another thing about Coom Battles and Magic that are both awesome is that there's luck involved. There's also skill involved. It has a great balance. And as far as the future of Coom Battles and other tournaments, the possibilities feel endless. Blends, you mentioned, a surprise format. I think that's such a great idea. There was a tournament this week that was, I think it was commons only, and I don't know how early you guys announced that. It was like an hour or 2 beforehand, and people just had to get their decks together. I think that's such a great idea to do more of those. And also more formats as well. Brett, you were mentioning that, get some limited formats going. I love, my favorite format in Magic the Gathering is draft. And it puts, there's luck involved in any game like this, but it puts everyone on this kind of even playing field where you open up packs and you pick a card and you pass it, and it becomes very skill intensive, but it puts you in this limited box where you have to deal with what you get, and it really makes you think on a different level about the game. And so I think the possibilities for this are endless. Pauper, Mythics only, all monocolor or something like that. You could just do endless things. 1 rare format, 1 mythic format, just so many things. So I think the game has so much potential. And like you said, Blends, it fits in with your real life, which is awesome. I have 3 small children, and I got a lot going on the weekends and at night when I'm trying to do stuff like this. And my older son, he'll watch, and he knows so many of the cards now. Oh, is that Soul Swimmer? He's big, right? He does Vortex, he does damage, and he's learning about the strategy. And the thing about games like this is, just like so many games, there's so many you're not going to encounter a real life soul swimmer. It's not going to teach you jujitsu to take down someone, but it does teach you, as we were talking about earlier, you got to play out what's going on here. You got to play out, okay, so if I do this turn, does that next turn, where's that going to leave me? And as I mentioned earlier in the stream, Magic the Gathering, playing that when I was a youth, it was just a game, people would say, as my parents say, yeah, you spend a lot of time in this game, but it does get you thinking, and it does get you to strategize in your mind about real life. And this game fits in with real life while still doing that. The tournaments are you get breaks in them. And on top of that, the community is awesome. And, communities, it's hard. I don't even like using the word community too much, but this community is actually really fun. And I'm having, I'm making friends and having fun and talking to you guys and talking to everybody else in the Discord. And on top of that, I think that probably partially comes from the culture inherent in the people that are still left in Bitcoin, but also from the management. I think it trickles down to Coon Battles. You guys are doing awesome, and you listen to the community, but also you have this vision that you're not going to let anybody have you stray from. So it continually gets better. The tournaments keep getting better. I think more and more people are getting involved. We're having more and more fun, and I can't wait to see more and be a part of it more. So thank you to them. Thank you everybody involved, and keep doing what you guys are doing, because it's really fun.
Thank you. And yeah, if you're listening right now.
Yeah, guys, thanks for joining the stream as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for having me, guys. And thanks for joining me if you're watching.
Yeah. And yeah, we're still like really early, so are you. We're all going to make it, but we're not going to make it because someone else is going to pump our bags. We're going to make it because, because we're going to have fun. We're going to build this out, and we're going to grow together, and I think that's the thing that tournaments represent for me, is just that, Cope, that I came up in the Magic competitive scene and circuit, and the people who I gravitated towards the game were like Reed Duke, and LSV, Ben Stark, Huey Jensen. These are like the they're in the Hall of Fame now. Yuya Watanabe, Shota, like all of these people who, Johnny Magic, of course, and it goes back. I mean, it's a 30-year game. So, you're talking about legends, like, which is funny because, there's legends that, like, even though Magic was a very early game, there was still some like Mark Justice, like in the first year, you still had some people that were like, iconic Hall of Fame level players in that game. And 30 years back, you can look back at their career and say, yeah, that person legitimately deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Like, it's not just because they were the hottest person in the game when no one knew what the game was, right? And so I'm thinking about that. You mentioned like in the running for talks about the Hall of Fame for Coon Battles one day, but it's like, we're seeing the genesis of this this community, this gaming environment, yes, but we could be witnessing someone like like the Michael Jordan of like of our era, and we're getting to like sort of participate in the growth of the format, the health of it, take the feedback from the community, what they want to see, and from my perspective, just as someone who has really seen the emergence and the development of this from like concept to implementation, it's just such an honor to really be side by side with the team here, with all of our people. We have a special chat inside our Discord, that we allow other people to recommend and suggest people to be included into. Blend's made his way in there very quickly, and like just integrity, like enjoyment, those are the things that we're looking for, because they don't steer you wrong in real life, so why would they still steer you wrong in like your business development? So yeah, we want to grow with our community, and hear your feedback. We have a channel. Come check us out, discord.gg/Coon Battles. And for you listening out there, you could do something for us, share it with a friend. Let them know that we're hosting these open events. A lot of these events, some will be ranked play, some will be open, and, you can join in, like have a chance to win a couple $100, a few $1,000 maybe eventually. And, let your friends know, share it with someone that you love. And, but yeah, thank you guys so much for being a part of this. Look forward to running it back. And yeah, just want to see the development of this into what is truly.
Amen, brother. And they said the eggs would never hatch. Here we are. They're hatching. We're cumin.
Right.
It's fantastic. The future is bright.
Yeah, and we just saw the result of them hatching, and like, maybe everyone wanted to see them hatch. I think maybe they're eating the words right now, because they were all thinking that they're gonna hatch into some like cute little what is it, like the Takigamo watch or something like that, and turns out no, it's not hatching into something little and cute. It's hatching into an Uga that wants to eat your face, or a chief that is ready to to run ram shot on you. And so the egg cult is it doesn't exist, so just don't pay attention to that. But yeah,